Tyson Fury promoter Frank Warren claims that Anthony Joshua ducked Deontay Wilder for a fight this year. Stay tuned. Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Promoter Frank Warren, he has an upcoming card this weekend. Carl Frampton, Tyson Fury on that card. And he did an interview with ESPN. Link is in the description. The title reads this: Anthony Joshua swerved Deontay Wilder, claims promoter Frank Warren. Doesn't beat around the bush, jumps straight into it. Again, to read that full write-up, go to ESPN's website. The link is in the description. It says Fury Wilder has only been made possible after the breakdown in negotiations between champion Joshua and Wilder. Joshua will instead defend his titles against Russian Alexander Povetkin September 22nd after refusing an $80 million offer from Wilder, who then snubbed a $15 million offer from Joshua's promoter Eddie Hearn for a clash at Wembley in April 13th. Frank Warren said, quote, "The reasons fights don't happen are 1, money, and 2, if they don't fancy it. If someone agrees and guarantees you $80 million, $50 million for the first fight, and $30 million for the second fight, that tells me you don't fancy a fight." Lennox Lewis put it in a nutshell the other day. He made some comments about this, and Lennox has no axe to grind with anybody. The only reason this fight is not being made is because either Anthony Joshua or his management or trainers don't want the fight. Otherwise, it would be made. Warren is confident that Fury Wilder will happen as long as Fury gets past Francesco Pianetta at Windsor Park in Belfast, Northern Ireland on Saturday. It will be the second fight of a comeback for Fury, who outpoint Klitschko, yada, yada, yada. Frank Warren continues by saying, Deontay Wilder is very much in the pipeline for later this year, but first Tyson Fury has his task. Without telling stories out of school, we're very, very close to making Wilder happen. If the worst happened on Saturday, I'm sure it would blow everything apart. Nearly a year ago, we were having a conversation about James DeGale fighting Caleb Truex and coming through to fight Billy Joe Saunders, and we all know what happened there. James DeGale was upset by Caleb Truex and they had a rematch. These things happen in boxing, but Tyson Fury is in a good place at the moment, and what's important for Tyson is losing more weight and getting into fight fitness. Tyson is happy with the money, Wilder is happy with the money, and they want to fight each other, end quote. Now, I told you guys it was gonna be a surgical summer. Yeah. It's getting crazy, man. Like, we just sit back, we smoked out all the haters, all the people with falsehoods and fake narratives and fake outrage, all of that. And we sat back and told you and called this thing from the beginning. Now you have more and more professionals, professional boxers, boxing promoters, former heavyweight champion like Lennox Lewis, current fighters, active fighters, and their voice and their opinion. From Joseph Parker, he didn't really talk about the negotiations, but he says he would pick Wilder to beat Anthony Joshua. And I think he said by knockout. And he has experience with Joshua. Then you have a former undisputed champion like Lennox Lewis, and the quote, I just read it to you guys. Lennox Lewis says either Joshua or his handlers or his management or somebody on that side doesn't want the fight. Now you have promoter Frank Warren, and I don't want to hear about Frank Warren's beef with Eddie Hearn, because just because two people have beef doesn't mean that something they can't be saying is true. Tupac had beef with Biggie, but when he's like, "This is why I fucked your bitch," that could have been true. He might have actually fucked Faith. You know, there's a chance that he just said it out of spite to piss off his rival, but people have this notion that because two guys don't get along, that everything is all of a sudden slanted, and just because they don't get along, nothing they're speaking on that person is fact. Like I just said, Tupac, there's a high chance and probability that he actually fucked Faith Evans. Just because he's not feeling Biggie, doesn't like him, doesn't mean he has to lie on some shit. You know, Faith Evans she just married Stevie J, I believe, and he was producing beats for Bad Boy. I think he even did Only You beat. You know what I'm saying? So if she was with Biggie, has a kid with Biggie, and that's real, like Puff say, right? Now that Biggie's no longer here, she's willing to marry the producer who was producing some of Biggie's hits. Then again, when it comes to Faith, and I'm not trying to make this about hip hop, but when it comes to Faith, there's a chance that she was fucking with Pac too. And judging by those pictures, that shows me something too. And they said Biggie used to cheat. So the way she was sitting on Pac's lap, I think Pac did what he said. But anyway, back to Frank Warren. Just because he's saying whatever, people act like you just have a grudge and you're just gonna lie on your opposition or whatever. I understand the relationship between Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren isn't the greatest, but guess what? They just put together Demetrius Andrade, Boo Boo Andrade versus Billy Joe Saunders together. I know it was a mandatory obligation that was ordered by the WBO, but still they work together, so it's doable. And people are doing that to try to discount and discredit, like, that's because he doesn't like him, so that's why he's saying this. No, he could just be neutral and looking at this. And it goes beyond Frank Warren. He just told you Lennox Lewis, he don't have an axe to grind with anybody, and he's saying the same thing. So it gets to a point when are you going to believe what people are saying? There's all different people. See, and I love this because it's getting so good, at least for me, because when I was saying this stuff, I was on the front line battling all these Eddie Hearn zombies that he created by making these false narratives about what happened with the Wilder Joshua fight. And now as time goes on, you see more and more people coming out, and it just doesn't look like the story adds up, right? Before, they tried to relegate it to an American thing. Oh, you're just an American, so you're against the UK. That's absolutely false. I used to live in the UK, and I had a great time. I learned things early on in life from the UK that was invaluable, like just the culture and the schooling. So when I came to America, I was far more advanced than a lot of kids my age because of what they taught me in England, you know? But the great thing about it is they can't relegate this to an oh, you Yanks, you bloody Yanks, you just hate the UK fighter, because you have people from the UK like Lennox Lewis, like Frank Warren, and like Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury said the same thing. He's like, Eddie's a shit house and he doesn't want to fight. Like he was saying the same thing that I've been saying. See, when I say it, it's controversial. When I say it, it's because I'm an American and I have something against. But you know, Stevie Wonder could see what went on with this particular fight. The bottom line is Team Joshua didn't want it for whatever reason. They wanted to extend it. They wanted to prolong it. They don't want Joshua to potentially get knocked out and lose clout or lose big paydays because they got a good thing going, and they don't want to get knocked off the gravy train. Whatever you want to label as the reason, it clearly came from Team Joshua. Hence the ESPN article of Frank Warren titled Anthony Joshua Swerved Deontay Wilder Claims Promoter Frank Warren. So, I mean, swerve, duck, avoided, it's all the same. So, again, another indicator of this, and this is how you know we winning, another indicator of this is basically it sounds like contingent on Tyson Fury looking good and winning on Saturday. We got a fight with Wilder and Tyson Fury. So again, how are these things plausible if Wilder's team and Shelly Finkel are just so hard to negotiate with? Why isn't it so hard for Frank Warren to negotiate a fight with his fighter? And you look at the final quote, the final sentence of this article says Tyson Fury is happy with the money and Wilder is happy with the money and they want to fight each other. Boom. So again, these were all issues when it came to Joshua. They didn't want to give up a percentage. They wanted nothing but flat rates. They didn't want to budge. They offered lowballed offers in their regular first initial offer, their improved offer of $15 million, 12.5. All the offers were shit. They're shitty offers just because the fight has the potential. Joshua Wilder has the potential to be a mega fight, you know, a big, huge fight. and they're trying to cut the man Wilder out of what could be the back end money, you know. And that's Team Joshua has done so many little things. They've made so many little mistakes in this process. For example, Eddie Hearn's making it sound like, oh, there's no guarantee it's $100 million fight. Why would we pay him more than $15 million? But it's actually on the contrary, because if you were really truly concerned, and I've said this before, if you were really truly concerned about overpaying Deontay Wilder, one, why were you not concerned with overpaying Joseph Parker and Charles Marr, all these guys? You said on record you had to overpay all of them. That's one issue. But more importantly, number two is this: if you were really concerned with overpaying someone, why would you offer them a flat rate? A flat rate stipulates this, that no matter how good or poorly this event performs, we're giving you $15 million, right? So if this fight tanks and people get tired of it, or there's another sporting event or something on the month you stage this to the point where the numbers are low and people don't turn out and show out for this, then you could have ended up overpaying Wilder. But if you gave him a percentage, he's only gonna get a percentage of the available pot, which makes more sense. Because if you said, oh, we'll give you 30%, he's only getting 30% of what the fight grosses. If you say 15 mil and the fight tanks, then you could overpay him. You know, simple mathematics, you know. So Ego's Army, man, we've been telling you guys this from the beginning, and it's good to have the support of former champions, respected guys like Lennox Lewis. There's nothing you can say. You're gonna say Lennox Lewis is jealous? That's the only thing I've heard people say. Oh, Lennox Lewis is jealous. So that's his countryman, his compatriot, and he knows both Wilder. He's met both Wilder. He was at the Olympics with Joshua. So why would he just be siding with Deontay Wilder? Like it's as if they're best friends or some shit, right? And career-wise, Lennox Lewis has done more than Wilder and AJ. You know, in terms of who he's faced. He fought Mike Tyson, knocked him out. He beat Evander Holyfield, right? He beat Tommy Morrison. He avenged all of his losses, Oliver McCall, Hassan Rahman, right? He beat Klitschko, the better Klitschko, Vitaly Klitschko. So what would Lennox Lewis have reason to be hating on Joshua or whatever? He's done more than Joshua. He made money. He's still probably making money doing little things. So, you know, it just doesn't make sense. I told you guys, the walls are closing in. Now you have people who are telling you what I've been telling you. So it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Did Anthony Joshua swerve a Deontay Wilder fight? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego. Sign out. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.